Good evening. It's Lisa with Lisa Heal Yourself, and I had a few minutes here, so I thought I would give a quick update. So first, I want to start out by saying those of you who have watched my update, my health update, this is part two to that. And I did, in fact, end up going to emergency by myself. And for those who don't know my full story, it's a long story with hospitals, and I actually had a phobia, a medical phobia, and a phobia of doctors, blood, needles, anything. I would pass out as a child. I could never go to the doctor. I could never say the word. I could certainly never get a needle. I'd be down even if I heard the word blood. It was a very severe phobia, and it lasted my entire life until I was 35, at which point I completely got over it 100% because I needed to go through IVF in order to have my children. And I knew that I would have to go to doctors and get the needles and do everything. And I decided I was going to overcome it. And so for those of you who have not seen that video, you can check it out on this channel. It's a video of how to overcome any phobia. It absolutely works. But it has been a lifelong phobia of mine to go to the doctors. And then after my chronic illness of a decade, there's a lot of trauma around doctors and hospitals and medical procedures. There's also a lot of PTSD. So walking into the hospital without a support person by my side, I've never done before, not ever. And so I did go in, I did face everything that came up. And I also had a CT scan. I also had a blood draw. I also, did a bunch of tests by myself without my support person. And again, this is the first time that I've ever done that without my husband by my side to just at least be there. So it was a huge step forward for me all around. It was a huge step forward for that phobia and coming through it and knowing that I could go one step further and now go on my own. It was a huge release when it came to some PTSD that I carry and trauma around the medical, going into hospitals and doctors and everything. So overall, it was an amazing experience. And because I faced my fear, because I faced the trauma, because I've done all the work, it wasn't actually as hard as I thought it was going to be. I was scared. I did have some anxiety, but I managed it very, very well. And actually, I didn't fall apart. I didn't, pass out. I didn't have any trauma or PTSD coming up. I was actually in control, very confident of myself. I was able to speak, my truth. I knew my boundaries and my limits. I also knew what I would allow and what I didn't. I had my voice, and I had my confidence and my self-esteem. And this is because of all the work that I've done, because of all the inner work that I've done around the trauma and the PTSD, and also because of the previous work overcoming a medical phobia specifically. So the two of it together, I was really amazed at myself. So I don't often pat myself on the back for a job well done, but I was very, very proud of myself. I was extremely surprised that I was able to function in the way that I did, all by myself without any support, and handle all of that testing. So that was a really great growth and expansion opportunity for me. And I'm glad that I took it, because had I thought that it would have been too difficult, had I succumbed to the fear and the emotions, the overwhelming emotions and the sensations and the fear and the anxiety and everything, I would never have known. I would never have pushed myself to expand and grow and change and face something in a new way. So it was a really big opportunity for me and a huge step forward in growth. So again, I'm proud of myself. Now I will just go into the update as to what happened. So originally I was told that this pain was bursitis in my hip. but when they looked at it, it is indeed shingles. So the rash is shingles and the nerve pain is shingles and all the, pain that goes with it and itching and burning and the neuralgia, all of that stuff in the area of my hip and my groin. I also have an enormous cyst there as well. And they said that cysts often come along with this type of shingles because your immune system is responding and activating, so therefore your lymph nodes are often swell. So in this case, it's really interesting to me. I did have the CT scan because I really wanted to know what was going on. And, I really don't have a lot of respect for doctors. I really have to say it. I mean, this doctor was quick. He was a little impatient. He was certainly high and mighty. He didn't like a lot of questions. And, kind of thought he knew everything. And so it never surprises me that doctors do this because, has been going on since I've been going to the doctor over the last decade. And that's why I don't ever see them anymore. This has been my first time in a very, very long time. But the first thing he did was offer me antivirals. I said, well, this has been going on already 2 weeks. Are the antivirals likely to do anything? And he did say, no, they're not. So I refused the antiviral treatment, knowing that I could do antivirals at home, and I certainly wasn't going to take his prescription. He offered me pain medication, which it's so surprising to me that doctors always recommend Advil, ibuprofen, and then more intensive pain medication, because handing out those things like candy is a disaster and so bad. I mean, it's just so bad for you on every level. And it never surprises me, and yet I still am surprised by how easy they hand these things out. Of course, I refuse that, so I can handle pain. Obviously, this holds not a candle, even though it's extremely painful, and it doesn't hold a candle to the pain I know I can tolerate. So why would I get pain medication? Certainly not. And then the last thing that really surprised me was he wanted to give me Lyrica, which, when people want to give you medication that alters, that acts on your nervous system, and obviously this would be for neuralgia and nerve pain and things like that, but that's a lifetime medication. That's a lifetime medication, and it surprises me and floors me every time, and yet doesn't. How easily they give these things out and make lifetime patients of people. It is sickening to me, really. Of course, I didn't take it, and I said I absolutely wouldn't, because, the medications that you go on, maybe you do get a bit of relief, but the problems they cause, in my only opinion, my personal opinion, have been devastating personally for me. Okay. So now let's just fast forward here to me. I am in a lot of pain. There is a lot of nerve pain. There's a lot of itching, burning. The rash is super uncomfortable. I'm in a tracksuit today. I can barely, but of course I'm still going on my walk. I'm still pushing myself to do what I need to do. And I'm still being a mom to my kids and doing the chores around my house that I need to do. So, I'm just taking it easy. I'm going to be doing a protocol to share my protocol for shingles, the one I've put together and I've been doing over the past 2 to 3 days here. So I really am hopeful that that is going to work, and I will share that in another video after I see the results. But yeah, as for me, the fear is a little bit strong and overwhelming for a couple of reasons. One is I don't want neuralgia back. I don't want nerve pain back. I mean, and the doctor said this. The doctor did look at me and I said, well, how long is this likely to go on? And he said, well, up to 4 to 6 to 8 weeks, but some people have the pain forever, so you could have it for the rest of your life. Sometimes when I hear that, I mean, had I heard that, years ago, I would have been beside myself. Because when you're in that much pain and somebody says, oh, it could be forever, like that's to me such a horrible, horrible thing to look at someone and say. I dismiss that. I mean, there is a part of me that is in fear over that. There is a part of me that, clings on still to the negative rather than the positive, and that can play around in my mind like monkey mind. But I know better, and I know that's not the pattern, again, that I want to go down. That's not the personality. That's not who I want to be and what I want to think. So I will do my best to dismantle that pattern that holds on to that negative phrase that I heard the doctor say. But that kind of thing has been stressing me. It's been worrying me. And I've been working hard to undo that pattern and to work on that and to allow that fear to come up and to allow that anxiety to come up and to try to release it in real time. So I might go through a video on that too, because it's really important that I don't just ignore what the doctor said and push those feelings down, but rather allow them to come up and process through them and then choose a new pattern. So it's all about feeling it and then making a new choice and a new way of being so that I don't activate those old patterns. So again, it's painful. It's a little bit scary in that regard, and I'm working on a lot of things around that sentence. As for the cyst, he did say, it should clear as the rash clears. And if it doesn't, if you still have it in 8 weeks and the rash is gone, then you will need to come back and have it biopsied. So I'll just cross that bridge when I come to it. I'm just hoping that if it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, then it's just going along with this and it will resolve. And I'll share my protocol to see if it works, but I'm doing extra things to hopefully reduce and eliminate the size of that lymph node and have it just disappear and dissolve. So that's what I'm working on as well. And I'll share that in a protocol once I see over the next week how it's going and what the results are from everything that I'm doing. But I just wanted to give everybody an update. I also wanted to thank everybody for the kind wishes and sending me love and the kind words. And it really touches me and warms my heart. That you guys, because I know you're suffering, I know you're in pain, I know that you are sick, and it's just really lovely that you would send kind words to me. So thank you for everyone who said a prayer for me, and I will keep you updated on this. Again, I'll probably share my protocol. I'm hoping to resolve it sooner rather than later. And again, I'm working on the patterns and the fear of, oh my God, what if this comes back up? What if I have this forever? What if I have nerve pain again and all this stuff? So I'm working on that. I'm working on my patterns. I'm working on my emotions. I'm working on the actual protocol, and then I'm working on the inner healing. So I'm going to keep on going with that. And for everyone who, is there for me, thank you so much. And I will heal, and you will heal. We are still human. We have setbacks. Things come up. But once you know that you can heal yourself and that healing is possible, and we work on it, mind, body, soul, when we work on it from all of the areas, we absolutely can heal. So I'm keeping that forward in my mind, and I'm sending love to all of you, and I will see you in the next video.